Do you want to crap on meta decks while leisurely making your way up to Diamond? I got you. Let's talk about this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rain Knight Gaming. I'm Rain Knight, and this is Master Duel Diamond Edition. That's right, we're gonna hop right into Master Duel, and I'll show you the deck that got me straight up to Diamond, no issues at all. Now, obviously, when you look at this account, this is not the account that I use to get up to Diamond. This is one I have not played in a while. But clip over to show you I do have an account that's a Diamond, so you know I'm not fibbing. And then we'll jump right into a deck profile that will show you exactly what I played. This is Grand Kaiju, rank 8s. This deck is completely disgusting, and obviously on my other account I have all these cards. This account, I don't have all of them. There's a lot of Ultra Rails you'll have to get, so it's not really the cheapest deck. You can build a cheaper version, but this deck is just gross. So let's jump through here so you guys know how these cards work, how they interact. First up, we've got Deep Sea Diva. Deep Sea Diva is a fantastic tuner that will actually summon out the same version of her that you have in your deck. Obviously, you see we run 2. So if you've got 2 rank 8s, you can go right into these 2 rank 10, level 10 synchro monsters. So if you're going first, this is actually a pretty decent going first play if you can get it off. Because this deck, while super powerful, its weak point is going first. So if you're playing in the TCG, you protect yourself a little bit with your side, but since these are best of ones, you don't have your side to play with. Then we'll get into the main man himself, Grand Kaiju Daiza. This card is amazing because it gets super powerful really quick by banishing cards. And guess what? We banish a lot of cards. And then we've got Glyph. Glyph is part of a combo, our Golden Castle combo. So what you can do with this card is you can send it from the hand to the graveyard, and that's going to get you your Golden Castle of Stromberg. Golden Castle of Stromberg is probably one of the most underread cards in the world because obviously you can either get Glyph from it if you had more than one. You can also get Hexa Trude, or the really fun part is if it's on the field and people attack into you, their monster gets destroyed and they take half that damage. And what people really do not read on this card is it's not once per turn. You see no periods at the end here. So that will be just clearing up their whole board, giving you damage, because people will just continually attack into you. It's happened a lot. I've won games by people just killing themselves on this card. Then rolling right along to some hand traps. In this version, for the best of ones, I only play the 6 hand traps. On the TCG version, which I'll come out a little bit later for my updated version after the ban list, I play 9 hand traps, and that goes along with my side deck. So with best of ones, I only play 3 because I want to have as many of my combo pieces as possible. So Dimension Shifter, a lot of times, a lot of decks, you drop this on them, and they're going to either pass or put up a really lackluster board. Because what it does, anything goes to the graveyard for their turn, and then your turn, so it's 2 turns. Everything gets banished, and that screws over so many decks. And then something else that screws over a lot of decks, we got Kaijus. We got 2, 2, and 2. Fire, wind, and water. And something pretty important here that goes along with some of our other cards. Your most important things here to look at for your Kaijus, obviously which ones have the most attack, and very important, how much defense they have. Because obviously with their attack goes along with your alpha, the Master of Beasts. If your opponent has more attack than you can summon him out for free. So if you're giving them, a 3000 beater, you can easily summon him out. But with this guy right here, you may want to give him to you, because you don't want to give somebody that much defense because of our spider combo. And the Kaijus go along with our spider combo really well. If you look at Pain Gainer you can destroy all the monsters on the field, on your opponent's side of the field, that have less defense than him. And just as a general note, he'll almost always have about 2,200 defense. So you want to try to always give your opponent, if you think you're going to go into Pain Gainer, either your fire or your wind. Never give him the water. And really the attack points, other than alpha, don't matter all that much, because most of the time you're going to go into monsters that have much more attack than that kaiju, or you plan to get rid of them with some other effects. So that's just something to watch out for when you watch videos or when you're trying to play this deck. Going along also with Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, that's where you want to give them the kaiju with less defense or the kaiju with more attack. So keep an eye on that. You know, that's kind of one of the more interesting plays you can do with this deck that not a lot of people see coming. So it's pretty cool. Our next rank 8, Hexa Trude, you saw me talk about her a little bit ago. That one all can get summoned out for free, basically, from your Golden Castle. It's free, but when you have Golden Castle on the field, it's treated as your normal summon. So just, you know, if you're sitting also on a Grand Maju, just know if you summon her out with Golden Castle, you cannot normal summon again that turn. So something to watch out for. But Hexa Trude is a really amazing card. I would say she's super spicy. Because she comes out, she can non-targeting, get rid of, actually I don't know if it's non-targeting, but she can get rid of anything on the field that, you know, you want to get rid of. You can even get rid of your cards. Say you're getting low on cards, you have Golden Castle up, and you pop her out, you can actually pop Golden Castle so you don't lose the 10 cards on the next turn. But usually you want to get rid of a back row or get rid of the one monster they may have in the field that is in your way so you can just go for game. Or if you're not able to get into your Xyz plays, you can also attack monsters twice with her. So you can attack, then attack, as long as they're monsters. If you're attacking the face, she only gets one. Another really cool thing with monsters is she actually gains 400 attack every time she destroys a monster, but it's not just her. She can give it to any one of your monsters. So she can give both to herself, both to another one of your monsters. You know, it's your choice. Then we get into our danger package. You live by the dangers, you die by the dangers. Some of the games that I lose, actually most of the games I lose, are when I just lose the die roll on my dangers and I don't get the monsters out. But when the dangers are rolling for you, oh, it's so good. Because you get to draw a card and you get the big beefy level 8s. So we play Bigfoot. Bigfoot's really good because if he does go to the graveyard, also, you know, you can send them off trade-in, so you get the draw 2 and you get their effects. Little heads up there. That he gets to destroy one face-up card, and Big Bird here gets to destroy one face-down card. So, you know, you can get rid of those back row decks a little bit. You know, if you're playing Twin Twisters, Big Bird goes really well with that because you get the effect from Twin Twisters to destroy 2. He gets to destroy 1. That's 3 back row. That's almost a Feather Duster. So pretty cool. Then one of my favorite cards, but it's also a very dangerous card because you'll wipe out your deck real fast. You've got the Sky Serpent himself, Gizmecha Orochi. This card is really cool because, you know, you can, on their turn, you can summon it out by banishing 8, or on your turn, summon him out by banishing 8. If he's already on the field, banish 3 from your extra deck to get rid of a face-up monster. So he's got really cool effects. Just remember, you can only do one of his effects once per turn. So, you know, you can't, you know, keep summoning him out or do both of his destruction effect and his summon effect. So, you know, you got to learn when to summon him out, learn when not to summon him out. Then we touched on him briefly. Of course, we've got Alpha, the Master of Beasts. If they have more attack than you do, you can summon him out, bounce one of the cards back to his hand, and then he comes back to your hand. You can summon him back out. Really cool thing. Not a lot of people remember. The bounce is once per turn, but the summon is not once per turn. So, you know, if they destroy it, but you have 2 on board, you can just summon out another one. Just the thing is, you can only have the one of them out there at a time. Then a little bit of destruction. We've got Harpy's Feather Duster, just gets rid of the back row. That goes along right with our Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm gets rid of the back row, or all of their attack position monsters. You know, either or, very powerful. One thing you got to watch with this deck, though, is you can't use Lightning Storm if you have a card active on the field. And one thing I'll accidentally do a lot is on their turn, I summon out Gizmek, and then on my turn, I draw a Lightning Storm. Guess what? I can't do my Lightning Storm. So kind of know when you think you're going to need that Lightning Storm and when you need to summon out the Gizmek. So, you know, just kind of be really cognizant of what you're doing there. Then, of course, the one of Monster Reborn. He works great because he can bring back any of your Kaijus, he can bring back a danger that maybe got sent to the graveyard, or he could bring back your Grand Maju. You know, it can just be huge then. So, Monster Reborn is a must to have. Then, they call this our fourth Gizmek because Foolish Burial. You just send a Gizmek to the graveyard, then you do Gizmek's effect to summon him out to the field. Super easy and just gives you great card advantage and a level 8 on board to get into your main deck options. Then we got 2 Trade-In. Trade-In is amazing searcher. We play a whole buku amount of level 8s. You know, you can send a danger, then you get the danger effect. You can send Gizmek. That basically makes it a Pot of Greed because you're just going to summon back out the Gizmek out of the graveyard. So you really paid no cost for 2 cards. Pretty cool. Your Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Oh, baby, this card destroys people. You know, you Kaiju, maybe their Omni Negate, and then you just go in and Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, destroy all their monsters. You get a level 8. They get a level 8. They all get level 8s. Oprah joke? Anybody? No? No? Okay. I won't put a clip in there because Oprah will sue the crap out of people. But I love that lady. Okay. Back on topic. We've got... damn it. I accidentally got rid of one of my Pot of Desires. Let me put that back. Pot of D. Enter. There we go. Pot of D. Search. No. Coming. There we go. Pot of D. Okay. Save. Okay. Back on course here. We've got Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires, obviously, banish cards, get cards, make your Grand Maju huge. It's amazing. And then in the TCG, we're back to 2. So the TCG version of the deck just got better. And then, of course, our Lightning Storms, we talked about those. Golden Castle, we talked about that. And I'll give Susu from Head to Head Battles a little credit on this because he turned me onto this card. He plays it in a 60 card variant. I don't like playing that many cards personally because I really want to see certain cards. Is this fancy boy, which, you know, usually you have to banish 20 cards to make your Grand Maju do lethal. With this card, you only got to banish 10 because what this does is it makes your defense add to your offense. So he goes from 4,000 to 8,000. Really powerful. Also works great with your Supremus because he gets attack based on how many cards are banished. And he starts out at 3,000. So he's already at 6,000. He gets really big, really fast, and it's another card that can easily go for lethal. Okay, that's it for the main deck. We'll go into the extra deck here. Of course, we've got Baron. That is an Omni Negate. And damn it. Well, we'll just leave him out. You know what I'm talking about. Where this is our Severon, our Soul Sword, Chug Gaga. I can't say him. The Sword Soul 10. Let's call him that. He's amazing. He banishes cards. He gets rid of defense. He gets rid of attack. He gains attack. Does a lot of damage. He's awesome. And then, speaking of damage, let's start with the combo source here. So obviously, you get 2 rank 8s. You go into number 97, Draguglion. You do his effect. That gets you your number 100, who gets 1,000 for every rank on the field. So he basically just starts out ground zero at 9,000. So a lot of times, he's just going to hit for game anyway if they have nothing to protect themselves. A little tip though, your current here doesn't work on him because he only gets the attack boost. He has 0 defense. So, you know, that's not something that's going to work really good on him. But you really don't have to because he gets so big that you don't need to boost it any. Then a little protection. I don't use it that often, but you can use him to finish off games. If you're going first, he can be a decent option. Lancelot, pretty much, he can hit in straight to your life points and you can go into a Zeus. Or if he's just sitting on board, he's going to automatically negate the first activation of anything. So say they do something that you shouldn't be able to respond to, he's going to negate it anyway. So pretty cool. And then Hope Harbinger has really good effects. You know, it can stop a spell. It has some other effects, but 99% of the time, I'm just using him to stack underneath 100 to get 100's effects. So that's why he's here. Then we go into Dingirsu. Dingirsu is such a naughty boy. He's so good. Oh, I love this card, and people hate him because just think about this. You make him using your Hexa Trude. You got Hexa Trude's effect, so you popped one card. You get Dingirsu. You pop another card. Then you can go right into your Pain Gainer, which can then pop another card or more, depending on how many monsters are on the field. And then you go into 77, which doesn't pop cards, but he hits for 4,000. And if you're using our attack boost, he hits for 7,000. So if they've taken any kind of burn damage, they're dead. So that's a fun one to do too. And after that, you go into phase 2. And then you go right into a 4 material Zeus. So you go on their turn. If they're still alive somehow, you can wipe their board out 2 times. And I'll tell you, that is hard to play through. And did we skip over anything? We didn't skip over anything. But right here, guys, that is our full deck. Let me put this card back in here. Sword. Soul. That one word? Nope. There we go. So that's our full deck, and it's so good. And I'll show you. Here. We've got combos. Let's kick on over. I'll show you a couple games. Just briefly see how some interactions are and just burning through the competition. And I'll tell you, this deck will get you to Diamond, and it will not be hard. Will you lose some? Sure, crap happens. But will you win a good percentage of your game, even against those meta decks? Yes. Yes, you will. And they will hate you for it. Let's get over and see what this deck does. Okay, looking at our hand here, it's really pretty good. We've got Shifter, that's going to let us hand trap on his turn. So it's really difficult for anybody to build a board through Shifter just because a lot of decks have graveyard-centric things now, and this just destroys that. It just gets rid of so many resources. Then we've got Doggeron, just a great Kaiju, gets rid of just about anything. You know, they throw an Omni Negate up there, Kaiju it, good job. We've got Lightning Storm. I mean, Lightning Storm is a great going first card, going second card, because if it's a back row deck, wipe it out. They got main cards in their main zone, wipe it out. And then we've got 2 dangers to get rid of either back row or get rid of main row or get our summons out. So let's see what they've got going on. They're going to go ahead and do a Pot of Desires. And obviously we can't stop that. So we're just going to let that go through. And you do wait to do your Shifter until they do commit to a summon. Because if they don't commit to a summon, you can't use your Kaiju. Remember that, it's important. So it's Ecclesia the Valorous. This is definitely a Sword Soul deck. And the Iris Sword Soul, that's a really good card too, because it's just another interruption. And then he's got his back row, and he continues, you know, dropping cards into the banished zone. So we let that happen. We pull a Grand Maju. It's not something we're going to use right now because we don't have any banished cards. So we're just going to get rid of his Blackout. And that's going to get banished. And then he kind of makes a mistake, pops that into attack position. That gives him a 0 attack monster versus a deck that can put out 9,000 damage. So we're going to go ahead, get our summon out of our Bigfoot. He's going to go ahead and bring out some more monsters, which Doesn't matter. He's still got the 0 attack. You know, Sword Soul, they're resting on their laurels here. And I've already got 2 monsters on board. This game's already over. It's just as simple as that. The game is over because we've got number 97 that goes into number 100, which gets 1,000 for every rank on the field for XZ's material. And he hits for 9,000 damage straight to the face through his 0 attack monster, and that's Sword Soul down. So as you can see, this deck, it gives 0 craps for your board. If you leave something hanging out there, he's gonna rip it off. Getting into our next match here, we've got another pretty darn good hand. We've got Shifter. Sometimes it feels like Shifter is just glued to my hand, and it's really hard to play against. Also, we've got Pot of Desires and Grand Kaiju in hand, which is an easy 4,000 attack beater. And we've got two Kaijus that can give us more attack and get rid of any of their big monsters. So I go ahead, and this is actually a mistake here because I figured, oh, he's summoning a monster out, so I'm going to go ahead and Shifter, not knowing that that monster was going to leave the field anyway, and that's going to slow down my attack just that little bit. So that gets banished, and you know, we've got some damage. We can't do the Foolish Barrel like we usually do to get a Gizmek out because we're under Shifter. So we're going to go ahead and do a Pot of Desires, and he's going to Ash that. I actually knew that he had the Ash because I saw him pull it. So we just did that to get our 4,000 attack Grand Kaiju so we could start putting some pressure on the board. And at this point, we still don't really know what he's doing. I decided to lay a little bit of a trap here because, you know, whether he's face down or not, Grand Kaiju still has 4,000 attack. So we're just going to sit on that and hopefully he attacks into it. Even if he, you know, somehow gets rid of it but doesn't OTK us this turn, we've got a pretty powerful turn coming up because we've got Foolish Burial that's going to give us our Gizmek, and we've got 2 Kaijus, so we'll give him one, give us one, and we'll be able to really put on some pressure after that. So this is a Phantom Knight deck. It looks like it also runs some dangers. Phantom Knights are, you know, it's a very strong deck. I would say Phantom Knights are meta in the dueling Master Duel right now because they can just flood the board, get a ton of powerful monsters out there, and can OTK. Obviously, this guy doesn't OTK me right here, but see what he's going to do. So we've got Rusty. Rusty is a card that's going to get him some nice stuff. He does get rid of our monster, which sucks. I was a little overcautious. I was worried what his back row was. I thought maybe, you know, it was something that would return the damage to me. Who knows? So probably should have gone ahead and attacked there. Because sometimes you can be a little overcautious. But, you know, it's really funny when people attack into a defense position Grand Kaiju. I mean, it's happened a couple times where I've had an 8,000 attack Grand Kaiju and people will run into it for a game. Same thing with Castle. You know, people attack into Castle, not reading the whole thing. It's really, really funny when they kill themselves. Because you know what Yugi players are really good at? We're good at reading stuff. Sarcasm. Okay, so he's got his Verte, and he's gonna go ahead and get DPE out. So we got DPE, we got some back row. It's not the best board. He must not have had the best cards, but you know, he's in plat, so he should really know what he's doing with the deck, and that's probably just the best board he could come up with at the time. Now he's gonna put in a good chunk of damage here. But the thing with this deck, if you don't kill it, it's gonna kill you. And, you know, we've got our draw, and we get our Grand Kaiju back, which is a nice, happy thing. And you get to see our control card, which is pretty awesome. We're gonna go ahead, set up our Kaijus. Then get out our Gizmek. Gizmek's going to boost up our Grandmaju even more. And we could go into our 9,000 beater. We could use Grandmaju. Pick your poison, pretty much. So right now, I kind of think he's got a Fog Blade in the back row. So I'm trying to bait out that Fog Blade. And the best way to do that is to threaten to get rid of it. So I'm going to get out my Dingirsu. Dingirsu has a non-targeting effect that lets you pop anything on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to get rid of the back row. So he's got to use it. So now he's completely defenseless. And you might be thinking, but Grandmaju is not big enough to kill him. Yes, it is. So we've got a pretty big one here, actually. And he gets even bigger because he gets boosted by the amount of his defense. And we get to hit for 14,000 to the face. It's a beautiful morning when you get to hit for that much. It's just fun. So that's it. That is the whole deck. And I talked through it a whole bunch. It's really nasty. And it is just a fun deck to play. No joke. I have a very high percentage beating, Sword Souls, any meta deck, anything. Kaijus take care of DPE, and Lightning Storms take care of the back row. Shifter destroys those combo decks. It's a very fun deck. I highly recommend you guys play it and make your way up to Platinum, make your way up to Diamond, make your way up to Diamond 1. And if you like this deck, guys, go ahead, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you like about this deck. Tell me what you hate about this deck. Tell me what you'd change. I'm always looking to improve it. But until then, guys, I'll see you later. This has been Rain Knight. I'm Rain Knight Gaming. Talk to you later. See ya.